Okay. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ed Fields here, along with Rogan Smith and Kendrick Williams on the board there. It's like a jazz show voice.
Yeah, I don't know why you do this. It's so annoying.
Because I'm meaning to do it.
Well, continue that throughout the show.
No, I move from jazz to talk show.
No, you move from that to junglist speak. Watch his accent come out now.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So this is Thursday, and
it's Thursday already.
As we know, always comes before Friday. So I want to say,
and after Wednesday.
Yeah. So I want to say hello to all the folks out there who are looking forward to the Friday after the Thursday, and then of course we'll go right into the Saturday. Now, I still think, and I'm lobbying for this. These are just random thoughts. I've had them before, so they're not as random. That things are looking a little tight for me financially, and I'm thinking of forming a church. And I was going to have a church where I would be Shepherd Fields, but I don't think that would apply. Well, it could apply to Second Day Adventist church.
You said second day?
Second day. Sunday is the first day of the week, so this will be second day. And the big pull on that, pull, every church has a pull. You got your Scientology, they got something going on. You got the Catholics, they got confession. That's the best. You know about confession?
Yeah, I was raised Catholic.
You're Catholic, yeah. Mm-hmm. One thing about Catholics is basically if you could get to church within 7 days, you could wipe out everything. It's like, in the school with the eraser.
Mm-hmm. On the blackboard.
All the sins are gone. You start fresh. So you only have 7 days worth of sins to get rid of. It's not an accumulation. Kendrick, and I would like to see this in sign language. What faith were you brought up? That's not a religion, Kendrick. Were you
Church of God?
Church of God. Okay. A prophecy? Okay. Because they have different. When I was a kid, I used to think those people were out of their mind. I'm going to be honest with you. Because see, we as brought up as a Catholic, it's very structured.
So, yeah.
Okay.
And quiet.
Yeah, and so when I went from Catholic school to a Methodist school. Everyone in my thing went to SAC, but I went to Methodist Queen's College. And I'll never forget that the first day when we had to have assembly. Mm-hmm. Y'all had assembly? When you gather in the morning?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you have to pray. Mm-hmm. And the guy, the pastor, well, first of all, they threw me off because he was reverend someone. He wasn't a father someone. Mm-hmm. So I could already see something bad. I could already see that no good was coming of this.
Because he's a reverend?
Well, it's reverend. Okay, it's father something. It's not reverend. And then he said, let us pray. And I'm one of two students from a Catholic school in a sea of non-Catholics. And they started to pray without doing the sign of the cross. And because I had been brought up and brainwashed,
so you just automatically
I thought to myself, aren't these people aware they're going to hell? I could not fathom.
How old were you?
11. Okay. I couldn't fathom. And I was brought up in an all Catholic environment, Catholic church, Catholic school. Everyone is Catholic. All my friends were Catholic. Everyone was Catholic. And so when these people just started praying without doing the sign of the cross, I thought, okay, that's it. They're done. Now, let me tell you the metamorphosis. So I also joined the scout troop of the Methodists, 8th Bahamas Trinity Church. And so as a result, we had to go to Trinity Church. And of course, when I went there, they're very basic. They got like an hour, and they don't do aerobics. In the Catholic Church, you're kneeling, standing, sitting. It's aerobics. It's holy aerobics.
I was going to say, what aerobics are you talking about?
It's, you're kneeling, then you got to stand, then so you got to do a lot of things.
You get a lot of activity in other churches.
Not in the Methodists. They sit and stand. That's it.
That's it?
That's it. No kneeling. So I thought to myself, because my knees used to always hurt in Catholic church because they had wooden kneelers.
I hated that.
Yeah, and I used to find all kind of ways like leaning. It was just funky. Sit on the edge of the seat.
I did that too.
Yeah. So I went home after that first Methodist experience, and I said to my parents, I was like 12, listen, I want to be a Methodist now. Okay? And they would go to your room. So that's about as far as that went in
Exactly
terms of the conversion. Okay, but of course I converted out of all of it altogether. But it's all very fun and games. So are you still a Catholic? Let's get into your
No,
personal business.
I don't
You're
identify
lost?
with any. No, I'm not lost. I'm a Christian. I'm a follower of Christ, but I don't. Catholicism, it didn't really appeal to me. I mean, I respect it in many respects, but
Well,
I just never felt like I would go to church on Sundays, and I never felt as if I got anything out of it. I felt like I was just going there and performing the rituals and being a good Catholic. But when I'd walk out, I felt empty.
Oh, you felt empty?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It didn't give
Well,
me
obviously.
that spiritual food that I needed.
Well, I'll tell you the first time I went to one of your boy churches over here.
Who da?
Kendrick. Okay? And they started. I was also in Scouts.
Did they give you the spiritual food?
I was also in Scouts, right? And we had to go to the church right down the road here, my man T.G. Morrison Church.
Zion.
Lion. And these people started going like,
Zion.
hallelujah. Hi, talking in the middle of church.
What you mean, like in tongues?
No, like, well, I don't know the tongues because they were just like, amen.
Oh.
You know, like the thing.
And you're used to that, right?
What? What are they doing?
Dude, that annoys
Oh.
me. That annoys me too. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
I'm a special.
I was
I'm a
like,
special
what
case.
the heck is going on
I'm
here?
a special case.
What the?
And every word that the pastor says, they go, Jesus. You know, they just keep, chanting
I thought,
afterwards.
you have to remember, I'm an impressionable young man, 12, 13 years old, never been in one of these areas before. And I'm thinking to myself, these people are doomed. They're doomed. Okay? And they've got something missing. This is what I thought. Because it's just, you're not used to it. It's not what you're used to.
I need the happy medium. I don't need it to be too quiet, and I don't need it to be too
And then
loud.
when they're singing,
I
hey,
just-
and clapping, and no.
You don't partake?
No. We need to get organized here, folks.
Guess what? I feel like the sourpuss because I'm the one person that's not doing that. Like, because I tried out different churches to find out like what I really wanted, and like when they'd get up, get involved in doing all the shouting and jumping and all that stuff, and I didn't do it. I felt like the one sourpuss in the church.
I didn't feel like the one sour face.
Well, I did.
I felt I immediately had to go and report this to someone. Okay? Something's going on there that we need to report to someone.
Man.
Okay? So I did that. But and then, one time I was enthralled by it all. I remember
You liked going to church when you were
I think
younger?
when I was a kid, yeah.
I did.
I kind of got missed. I kind of got a little pissed off because I could never really do the clicker. The incense.
Yeah.
I was, they
used
only
to
let
like the
me
way
put
that
the
smelled.
incense in the thing, but I never got to carry
do
it. So I was
yeah.
pissed off at them. But
I used to get pinched to come to church, not by my mother, but by the
nuns.
The nun.
Yeah, the nuns were cruel.
That didn't leave a good
Cruel
impression on me.
nuns,
Yeah.
ear twisting, the whole
All
thing.
that.
But no, I just, I got, as I got older, I started watching what was going on with these different religions and stuff, and I'm just like, well, who's laying down the rules here? This seems like this is like out of control here. No one's adhering to my way of life. Okay, so I had to make some adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
My adjustment was I just stopped going, but that was the big adjustment. Kendrick, you still worship at
That's
the big
good.
COP,
You go every week?
COG?
I can't.
You go to the COG still?
You're doing bad when the people at church be like, we ain't seen you in a while. Like I get that quite often.
No, you haven't. It isn't that you haven't seen me in a while. I haven't been coming. It's not like I've just
They're being polite.
like vanished.
They're being polite, and I understand it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I rather you go to. Oh, okay. Oh, that's Ed. That's Ed's boy. He goes to Father's
Mario
Harvest
Moxie.
now. I know.
Mario called me the other day.
Yeah, I know how much you love him.
Mario called me. We were talking about. You know what it was about? It was about. It was about the blog or the post we put on about the press not.
The reporting the month of no thing.
What was that called? It was called. Is there? I forgot what it was called. What was the headline?
I don't
On
remember.
that, I'll find it. But
So that's where that's where you go to these days. That's good.
harvest. And what do they do there? They're farmers by nature. I mean,
Yes,
what's
they
happening
harvest peaches.
there? They farm. No, you know what they harvest? They
Yeah.
harvest souls. Yes.
That sounds very cultish.
No, but that's what I'm sure, these are the kind of verb. See, when I have, and going back to my original thought, so everything has to have a hook.
Yeah,
What's that? What'd you say?
Fully baked
What'd you
dough.
say?
You can get high
When he
tonight.
sees some old woman just standing above him.
You
You
get
know
what?
hagged?
Which
Have you
one?
ever heard of hagged?
Hagged.
You're
You
gonna
get
get
hagged.
hagged.
Oh, hagged by whom?
Hagged.
By a
whom?
hag. By a spirit.
Oh, okay. Well,
spirits.
I tell you what,
I want this
I'm going to
happen
come
tonight.
back on Monday, and
want
I'll
this
report
happen.
to you
On the hagging?
the hagging.
Hagging?
Yeah. This is
Right,
another
eh?
thing about the lightning.
I
Again,
hope he get hagged tonight.
Never in the history of mankind
You know nobody's doing
that I know of
obey.
anyone who has been
I can
struck
find
in
them.
by
Yeah, right.
lightning
I know nobody
as a
who's
result of
doing no
speaking
more.
this way. But I'm going to have the thing, and everyone has to have a hook. And my hook is going to be, you get Monday off. That's my hook. So you come to the Church of Second Day Adventists, and basically,
Idiot.
you got a long weekend every week. That's it.
The Church of Second Day
Yeah,
Adventists.
because we cannot do anything until sundown on Monday.
I go to the Church of Second Day
Okay? All right? So, the sad part about it is plenty of people are joining it, and you'll see them out partying on Monday.
Wait. So you said you're doing this as a money-making venture. How much
Oh, yeah.
money you plan to make in the
Well,
first
as much
year?
as I can.
No, but you have to have some sort of figure in your head as to what you hope to make in the first year.
I just need to pay some mortgage, pay some bills, whatever. And I mean, if I could get some gravy, good. Yeah. I don't need no jet.
You know, Jack.
No, I'm not like Creflo. How could you be
Dollar.
a preacher and name yourself
Creflo
Creflo
Dollar.
Dollar? That'd like be naming it like Ed Greed. You know?
Oh, that's a good name.
You like that one?
I like that.
Oh yeah,
E.G.
Ed Greed.
Ed Greed.
Yeah, man.
Oh, that's your new name. I'm writing it down.
Anyway, we'll be back
Okay,
in
Mr.
a few
Greed.
minutes, yeah. One last question before we move on to Candy. How is it that the whole world, especially in the Hispanic world, refers to Jesus as, the one guy, Mary's son, Joseph, who, by the way, gets no credit. Joseph.
Joseph, he didn't do anything.
I'm going
He
to
raised
talk
him.
about. I can tell you what
He
Joseph did in a
raised him.
second, because we're going to talk about Joseph right now. But how is it that everyone calls everyone else whose name is Jesus, Jesus, but even Hispanic folks call Jesus, Jesus.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
They say Jesus.
They don't say Jesus Christ.
Jesucristo.
No, they say Jesus.
No, they don't.
Okay, well, I'll have to check, but I
No,
think
they
they do.
don't.
I'll double check.
They say Jesus.
I will double check.
Triple check.
I will double check because no one else is allowed to. You're not allowed to be called that name.
That's our guest. That's one of our
Now,
guests.
I want to go for a second, Candy, and we will give you the time that you needed. To Joseph.
Thank you.
Joseph walked his brown ass, and by the way, it was brown. Okay?
How you
From
know?
Nazareth or wherever he was to Bethlehem. After the woman tell him, hey, don't worry about a thing. This from God. Let's walk. Okay? Now, I don't know how many brothers you will get.
That's how you know he ain't brown.
No, he brown. Because he from that town. Okay? I don't know how many brothers you can approach now. See, the thing about the Mary thing, it's one of those things where you can use that once. Okay? She gets credit, and I'm not trying, this is all comedy. She gets credit for using that excuse, and that's it. No one else could use that excuse again. Okay? So she went to Joseph, okay, and says to him, listen, Joseph, I'm pregnant, but don't panic,
I'm pregnant.
okay? Don't panic. The Lord impregnated me. Now, you go to Orknell with that today, and Sandra Dean Patterson have to deal with that situation. What's that?
I can try it on my
Yeah.
husband.
Sandra Dean Patterson will have to do an intervention on that.
And I can tell
Okay?
you how that work out.
And then he tells you, and then she tells you, and by the way, we can't have the child here. We need to walk to Bethlehem. You'll be walking, I'll be on the donkey. There's two asses on that trip. Okay? So you know that can't apply today, though.
That's a good one, Pastor Creed. That's a good one.
Pastor Creed. Yes.
You did, yes, sir.
Creed is good.
Creed.
All right. So listen, in all seriousness, it's all humor. I don't want people getting offended. It's all good humor as you drive home, and it's things to think about. Now, And by the way, I will let you know tomorrow if I was hagged or struck by lightning.
No, we don't worry about the lightning, but I'm gonna make sure you get hacked.
Does anyone have a stat on that, by the way? I've asked you this before. And no one has seemed to present a stat to me. And by the way, I'm going to add to you, I've never heard of the stat on the hagging. In fact, I've never even heard of hagging.
I got hagged for years.
By whom?
You hear the story.
Your mother?
No, I feel like, okay. See,
Illinois hagging you?
No.
Because I can talk to her about that.
I think it was like demonic. No, I swear.
Now we understand.
I swear to you. I swear. Okay? Every time, like, and this happens for people, like, if they're trying to get closer to God or they're searching or they get into their Bible more or whatnot, I see y'all looking at me with these crazy faces. It happens a lot.
No,
I think I explained this to you, right, Kendrick, a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
To the point where I had to have a priest come in and Monsignor Moss.
Exercise you?
No, he came in to bless the house again. I mean, like, it was really bad.
Well, let me say
like
two
things
things.
Pulling like the sheet down off of me in the bed and whispering and I couldn't move.
Yeah.
They'll call it paralysis and all that foolishness, but I know better.
Yeah.
Let me say two things. First of all,
I already know how your lips pursed with the deal
first of all, fantastic, wonderful. Second of all, that now explains everything. So now I'm okay. Now I understand.
All right.
It was a
when
result of a
happens to
hagging.
you,
sense
when it
now.
happens, you will understand.
Candy, you've had sheets pulled down?
No, I have not.
Okay. Would that be, can I ask a question? Just one question and we
I
can
was
move
in
to
the bed by
Candy?
myself. No.
Yeah, but it was the fan on.
No.
No fan.
It had air conditioned, but
Okay,
it,
no
I was
ceiling
talking
fan?
about no
Okay.
ceiling fan.
Okay.
Pull down.
You have a little,
No, it's serious, man.
maybe it
for
was
real.
Tinkerbell
It wasn't
moving
Tinky.
the damn
Tinky
sheet.
wasn't nowhere around.
Right now, that was stinky.
Yeah,
No, man, I'm
Tinky.
telling you.
Stinky Tinky.
I call it Stinker Tinker.
No, I said Stinky
Stinker.
Tinky, but now you're at Stinker Tinker.
Stinker Tinker.
She soon started calling you stinky.
I am going to, people give gift certificates. You know how people give gift certificates?
Okay.
I'm going to give you some gift certificates for a little psychoanalysis.
18,
I didn't mean that in a good way.
18 days to my birthday. Oh, no, give that to me for real, though. I have some other issues I'd like to
Now,
work
yeah,
out.
see, now that's when you know someone need it when they say give it to me. Okay.
That's how you know they don't need it, because they're saying give it to me. Now, if I work crazy, I'd be offended by that. But I would deal with some other issues, so do that. Which doctor
Hey,
you
you
sending me
might
to?
be very aware of your craziness.
I'm aware of my issues.
Oh, God.
18 days to the birthday. Y'all get together and figure
Calm
out what y'all
down.
buying me.
You know
And
what day
separately.
she was born on Michael Jackson's birthday.
That's right. And
I mean,
our
I'm
guest
supposed to
who's
know that
coming
off
on
the
has
top of my head.
the same birthday, too.
What
Whom?
date is that?
Carlos, the
Okay.
29th.
Is Carlos here,
of
by the way?
August. No, not yet.
Okay. Candy,
Yes.
Yeah,
may I
he-
use one of your minutes to talk about the Trumpster? We'll give you the other time.
You need to give me all my minutes back.
You can get your, what
right.
is this, BTC?
Okay. Hey, rollover
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Thanks.
There you go.
I'm only going to say one thing.
This thing with ISIS with Obama?
No.
This is
No,
what
no,
I'm
no, 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 no,
talking
no, no,
about
That's
Trump.
no, he finished with that.
He's such an idiot.
I'm just saying the guy has lost his mind.
Oh,
He
He's
now
been
wants
lost.
to kill. He's asking people to kill Hillary Clinton.
him and your boyfriend, Duterte.
Who?
Duterte, Rodrigo, the Filipino president.
No, I'm not even talking the Filipino president.
No. He's telling people, like, to kill the drug dealers if you see them in the street. You don't hear about him? That's Trump twin brother right there.
Yeah, I'm saying that Trump has lost his mind. I think
And
by the
Duterte
time
as
the
well.
election comes around,
He's
he'll
his
be
own
down by
worst
about
enemy,
30,
so-
he'll be down by about 30-something points.
That's what you
Yeah,
think.
he
You better get ready. That's the next president of the
Yeah,
United States.
yeah,
right
and,
there.
and I'll make sure just so he know I'm on his side to get a vig like that. Okay,
Hey.
Candy, how are you doing?
I'm good. Happy
Yeah.
Thursday.
Yeah,
The-
good time here on a
Hey,
Thursday.
what is it? Friday Eve?
Thursday.
What did we have? Oh, we had Alfred and Ace on Monday, so we
Yeah.
had to we didn't.
And that's
wanna
okay. Y'all,
rush
y'all
so-
treat me a little bad, but
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all right.
Don't worry
Cam.
about it.
I'm here.
Yeah.
here. It's Thursday.
What's going on? Tell me what's going on.
All right. So today we're talking about, this is for my the people that are thinking about getting married, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did a couple of topics for the pre-tie goaters.
Just ignore
I
it.
thought did I do it? I didn't
No,
do
you see
anything.
his eyes,
Yeah,
like
I
they're
do,
just like.
I do.
So anyway, today's topic is
Full of
about
notes.
why does the passion go out in a relationship? Like the wedding bliss has a shelf life. You have always hear about that honeymoon stage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where after 2 years, boy, things start to
Well, it's like the smell of the new car goes away.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly, right? So, but why? You
'Cause
know,
people,
why is it?
Reality sets
People
in.
don't clean the car.
Well, not
It
necessarily.
just goes away.
No,
Okay.
not
Well,
necessarily.
tell us why, Candy, if you don't
Like,
mind.
please indulge us.
Uh-huh.
Well, yes, like Rogan said, you know, life happens. Apparently, that happiness, that blissfulness, really, you know, if you hang on for a decade or two, that might come back once your children leave the nest.
Especially if you didn't bulk up.
Oh gosh, and you didn't put on no. I would hope that you're not that. You know, people are not
Superficial?
that shallow
They are.
and
Go
superficial,
ahead.
and that you're greatly committed to your partner,
Right.
and that a few pounds wouldn't matter.
That's a deal breaker.
Well, it's a matter of you
No,
married.
but you're right though.
If you married Bambi and you end up with Buffalo Bill,
Yeah.
you know, it's one
See,
of
the
those
thing
things.
is, you know, what a lot of people don't realize when, you know, committing themselves to a
There's going to
person,
be change.
not only change, but, you know, you're committing yourself to, I'm going to, you know, still do the things that I did. You know,
to trap you.
well, say to trap you.
to get you.
To
trap
get you.
Yeah.
Yes. So it's about being consistent. You know, commitment ain't like, okay, well, I got you, I here. So I ain't going nowhere. But you're not, you have to be present. You have to put in the work. It's like, you know, they say, you know, marriage is like a shark. It has to keep moving forward so it doesn't die. You know what I mean?
I'm contemplating while
Yeah.
you're talking.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I just think, you know, and can I do a demonstration?
You could always tell when Ed want to talk, you know.
Why is that?
Explain
I'm
it
just
to him.
contemplating.
No. But explain it
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah,
Explain
yeah,
it to him. Explain it to him.
Why am I just
No,
contemplating?
I don't want to go off topic, but I'm just making it known.
I'm so glad.
But no, but I'm saying, I said I'm contemplating.
that
You
all
said,
the
what do
time.
you think? So I'm
'cause
responding.
let me give you,
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, go on.
no, go ahead.
No, I would love to hear what your thoughts are.
I just think
He'd
that
love to tell you.
again, we're just very, we're shallow people. We're shallow. And we're trying to make something deeper than it is. That's my thought.
Well, we didn't hear.
I know. You know, we're shallow. We you know, in the animal kingdom, you know, something they wiggle their butt or they have a plume
Right.
to attract the person.
Listen, that was
The
going to be one of
plume.
my examples.
There you go, the plume.
You know, the mating dance, you know,
Yeah.
the ritual, like, the peacock that
We
spreads.
do that too.
Like, ooh, look at me. I'm
Can
shining
you please use the
and I'm
word?
dancing.
Can you please use the word plume? I like the word
The
plume.
plume, okay.
Yes.
So the plume, you know,
Yeah.
is shaking and look at me over here.
wish they could see
Yeah.
you.
I know.
Shimmy.
And then, you know, that can only last for so long.
Fat is gone.
When your real self, you know, kind of pops out. Because then when the plume goes, you're just, you know, walking around like all like.
You go from
it's
plume.
got to be something more
To
than
doom.
just
To
that
doom.
original. It's got to be more than just that original attraction, though.
See?
That's
See,
just the, that's the
how
first
we
thing that's
connect
gonna get you hooked. Yeah, she
You know me.
Hey,
She
You
know
go
me.
from plume to doom, and that sums up today's topic.
Where you is nowadays? I do 'em.
No, but I agree with you, though. You do have to be consistent because the thing that attracted me in the first place, I would hope that there's some semblance of that as we continue on. I've always said, and I'm going to go on the superficial level here, I can't stand to see when people let themselves go in their relationships. First thing
Right.
I said when I came in the studio is I stepped on the scale and I see myself gaining some weight. So what am I doing? Scaling back on how I'm eating, going jogging after this. But I mean, people just, they don't care.
Right.
I know people who will say, well, I'm already in the marriage, so I'm settled, and so that's the end of it.
Right,
What
that
are you
stop
talking
actively doing stuff.
about? Yeah, you still want to
to-
attract your mate, I would imagine.
Right. And the thing is, and I don't want people to get it twisted, like, oh well, I must look good for him. No, you're doing it for you, but because this is your marriage. Like this is for you. This is you're actively taking part in your marriage, and that means yes, taking care of yourself, taking care of the both of you, and wow. I just lost my train of thought.
No, but I don't. I have a friend. One of my best friends always says she has a few kids, right? And she
Yeah.
says, I don't want to look like a mother, and I don't want to look like a wife. Now I know people might say, "Huh? What are you talking about?" Because she's married with 3 kids, right? But what she's saying is, I don't want to look like that settled person who ain't on the market anymore. I always want to look, like presentable. I want to look ready to go if something were to
Ready to
It's
go.
funny that you say
She
that.
wants to look
People
good.
people used to look at me weird and like something wrong with her when I used to say like, you know, if the people pass comment, girl, you're looking good. I say, yeah, girl, I always on the market.
Yes.
No, I'm not literally on the market, but I am doing that because, yes, you know, when I'm walking arm in arm with my husband, guess what? Yeah,
Yes,
I look good and I
exactly.
represent him.
Exactly.
That's all right. As I know, what
I
was
got
the
the
term?
head motion
What was the
going.
term?
There you go.
What was the term that I used to use from the Allies? What can happen? The shift or something like that. When you make those, what I used to say when you know the people from Long Island when they go from.
No, I'm not.
You're not going to say that, but you ever used to say that. But no,
Boxy?
listen. What's
Go
that?
Box?
No. But I used to say you make the change or whatever.
Yeah.
I forgot what we used to call it.
It'll come to
Yeah,
me.
but the reality. Second.
Is it news time? Oh,
No,
okay.
but what it is, and I just want to interject here and say about it. In the Church of the Second-day Adventists, we're not going to be encouraging marriage. But go ahead.
Oh, 1,000 people just signed up. For
Everybody.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, so let's get back. We all know that passion's going, you know, passion dies. I mean, if it didn't, we really wouldn't get anything done, you know?
Look, in that's funny because
We wouldn't.
I said to someone, and I have to say this very carefully, very, very carefully, because I don't want to offend anyone. But if guys who are the jungerers could junger themselves, no one will even be awake.
But this is what I'm saying. You know, when you first meet,
can.
what can we say that it's appropriate on the radio? Like,
I think you go with
Jungazé.
Junga.
Okay. When you're jungering, like, you know, in the beginning,
Yeah.
3-4 times, you know, like whatever it is.
Oh, 3-4.
I don't know. Like,
Okay,
I don't
that's
know
your-
what
that's your
people's,
count.
you know, the frequency
No, but
or
listen,
whatever.
the
I'm
reality
just
is, and
tossing
we
out a
got to
number.
go to the thing, and we'll talk about when we come back. But the reality is, what you're doing when you're 17, 18, 19, 20 to 21, and then all of a sudden you're working and you're bringing up children. It's a lot of stuff going on, you know. So you're just tired. We'll be back right after the news. Well, I know we're scheduled to have Carlos Reed on the show today, as well as we have some folks from Starter Island, and you know, we're just kind of loose here. But we have Candy. We're talking about getting relationships off the ground, and this is to, I suppose, advise folk who are thinking of getting married what they're in store for and what they should be looking for in terms of avoiding shortfalls.
Well, I mean, we should just, you know, be very aware that passionate love, you know, turns into companionate. Nate?
I don't know what that means, but
what?
we'll go with that.
I've invented a
Companionhood?
word.
Yeah.
Write it down.
Companionship, I think is the word.
No, well, yes.
Yeah.
You know, yes, a companion type of love.
Mm-hmm.
And people, after the 2 years, right? Say, I'm just, you know, throwing out some
Yeah.
time. After that, I mean, when it turns into that kind of love, people automatically think that this isn't working, that we are incompatible. We
now
are
that-
unhappy.
now you're
and that
hitting
is
some-
not necessarily the case.
Because, and see, this is why these definitions that we have and these expectations, I think you've used that word on several occasions, because we're in Hollywood. Everything is TV. Yeah, everyone is TV. The reality is things change.
Yes.
Okay, things, you know, again, I don't want to use this example because it seems dehumanizing, but if you use the example of a car. I mean, the reality is the excitement that you have of a car, and again, I'm not equating, I'm just using this, that you have at a car at first, right? A brand new car, the smell, the whole thing, you're showing off and all that kind of thing, as opposed to when it becomes transportation.
Listen,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, I have
You
that's a good
realize,
example.
you like that example?
Because I have a
yeah.
car, 3 years old.
Okay.
3, you know,
Yeah.
when I first got it, ooh, smell good. Everybody jumping in.
Yeah.
Wow,
Let's go.
that's so
Hey,
wonderful.
look at my
Like,
car.
boy, this
Yeah.
smells so good. You
Yeah,
know, the new
yeah.
car
Now
smell.
it's trans.
But now, you know, these damn brakes need to change.
Yeah.
My car looks a hot mess.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
I
You
feel
don't even wash it
embarrassed
too
by it.
often,
No,
yeah.
man, the front tire is
Oh,
dirty
okay.
bad.
Yeah.
You know, inside got
Get it
Cheerios
toge-
everywhere.
Get it together. Okay?
Get your life together.
Okay. But this is see.
But
and
I
this
can clean
is
she up
life.
and surprise her though.
Well, every now and again, people get
see,
cleaned
'cause
up.
we
They go to a
crave-
little, go to
yeah,
a
we like
function.
a little surprise.
You go to a function.
Yeah, woo.
But this is what I'm saying about these scenarios is if we can just start. I think you talked about it earlier. If we can stop. What's the word you used? I don't want to say fantasizing, but romanticizing everything.
Romanticizing
There are
everything.
things that have practical
Very
practical application.
Yes.
Okay, and everything. See, you know what romance is for? It's the draw.
Yes.
We got to get past. It is
And
a
that,
draw.
and that dies.
Okay, you know when the bee, the honey, the flower goes dead, the flower rots. Okay, then you got to get another flower.
Yep.
I don't want to use that example. Let's move to another example.
What's that? No, you're not going to have porn star sex. every night.
Kendrick, by the way, just said something loud,
Woohoo!
and the first utterance he said had to do with porn.
Yeah.
So put that on
because
radio.
We're allowed to say
Okay,
that, right?
yeah. Okay.
No, but that's
he
the
never
truth.
talked before. Now he's a porn star.
Because you have some men, and then 2 years later, boy, I remember when you used to hang from the chandelier.
Yeah.
Well, damn it, I don't do that no more.
Yeah. In fact, we don't even have a
Okay?
chandelier anymore.
Yes, it
We
broke.
have recess lighting.
Okay?
We have recess
right,
lighting.
We've changed. Relationships change multiple times, and every time it changes, you have to rebuild it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a ongoing
Like for instance, let
moving
me give you an
thing.
example. Rogan, right?
Oh,
when
Lord.
she was young, she had a
Rogie boy,
relationship.
he's just-
Now she has to go and urinate every 15 minutes, so you can't even
I've been
have a
drinking
relationship
a lot
with
of
her.
water. You wouldn't even know I stepped out the room.
They know now. Okay.
I didn't know what you stepped out for.
I can't help it.
He put you
You know
right
what I
out
like
there.
about Rogan? Let me tell you what I like about Rogan. Not too many people can handle that, you know.
What's that?
That you could say that.
Yeah.
Some people freak out on that kind of stuff. Anyway.
Yeah, no,
But
Yeah,
what
y'all
you
know I
miss,
have an
Rogan,
issue. Yeah,
what you
what did I
miss,
miss?
Rogan, is we
Sorry.
talk about the fact that the whole of your life isn't supposed to be one romantic journey. That romance is the draw. It's the honey to the bee type thing, right?
Right.
And then after that, things become practical. There are practicalities in life you have to have: bringing up children, going to work, financial.
But there
so-
should also, I hear you,
Life
but there
has
should
I'm not saying
also
you
be-
shouldn't
there
rose-
should be
I'm not saying-
undertones of romance. I mean, to keep you, because what?
No, I'm not saying
No,
you should
I-
lose it,
no,
but
I'm
it's
gonna
not
say
like
that too.
a perpetual.
Uh-huh.
I was
You
going
know.
to say that too.
Perpetual state of being. What happened to you?
That's my perpetual state of romance.
Oh,
You're just
that
always
quizzical
erect.
look?
Any opportunity to help you talk about your variety pack. But anyway,
variety pack.
we are programmed to crave variety, right? And, injecting some sort of variety, like, or element of surprise into your relationship, even, you could be 10 years, 15 years deep, but doing something, unexpected for your
Right,
partner.
right.
I hate routine. I
yes,
Can I-
like
routine.
switch things up.
Can I use a very good anatomical example?
Oh, God.
The tongue. The tongue.
What of it?
We have on our tongue
Taste buds.
different taste buds.
Yes. Sometimes we like sweet. Sometimes we like sour. Sometimes we want
if you
salty.
go, and you know what? Going back to the variety pack, if you just eat salt all the time, when that sugar hits you, yuck. Anyway, listen, we got to run, but you always give us words of wisdom, Candy.
Yes.
And tell us now summarize
Well, no,
for
just
us.
summarize. The passion will fade. I mean, that's something you just have to expect. Life has to happen. You have to live. You can't be getting the junga 3 times a day and don't be making no money to pay the bills to help you cool off while you're junga.
She's
Okay.
invented math.
Yeah. Are you telling us
Right?
your story?
And
Candy?
even when you're
Gestures.
even when you're doing the mating dance, please, when you're
you're in
still
full
be
plume.
yourself. You be your true self because you don't want to, propose that you're somebody different and then 2 years down the line you're completely,
Yes.
someone else.
lot of people
That's
do
a
that.
whole nother
And
issue.
get mad when your man find you exposed or something.
Right. Don't allow things to die down. You're committed for a reason, and commitment doesn't only mean that I'm here. I'm just like a fixture in the house.
Yeah.
And no, it means
work.
putting in the work, putting in the time, still being consistent with what you used to do to get each other. And yes, inject some elements of variety and surprise, but you could, have some exciting moments. Do some unexpected things.
Like I say, in life as you get older, what you have to look forward to is intermittent joy. So make sure you have that
That's
joy.
not for everybody.
No, everyone has to have
Intermittent.
intimate. You have to have joy. No, you have to have
That's
joy.
not for
No, I'm saying you
everybody.
cannot be in a perpetual state of joy.
I think
No.
you can.
Well, good. Well, then
think
can
you
you
can.
sell that, please? And you can bring it to the church
It
and I'm
may not
selling
be
that.
your case, but I mean, in some people's cases, that's exactly what it is.
And I would call that a rarity. But
I
hey.
don't call that a rarity.
Okay.
We always really go at it.
Yeah, we do.
Oh my God.
Well, the main
Anyway,
reason is because
just
anything I say, she's
realize
going to be
That's
against. So I
not
go
true.
with
I
that.
agree with you quite often on this show.
Okay, I'll let it
Or
slide.
intermittently.
Yeah.
Before I go, just realize, people, that long-term relationships change shape all the time, multiple times over the course of however long you're going to be together. And you must continually rebuild it. You must revisit and evaluate. I would evaluate you. It's like, make it...
You want to evaluate?
I can tell you something off. Well, anyway, I can tell you something
Anyway,
later on. Yeah,
we
but
will continue this
that's the key point right
conversation.
there.
Tide Goat on Facebook. Look forward to this video.
Why do I want to neigh every time you say tide goat? But that's a horse sound.
Yeah.
Why do I want to go like,
All right, we'll be right back. We've got Travis
Thank you,
Miller.
guys.
And thank you, Candy. We'll see you on Monday. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ed Fields here along with Rogan Smith. And what's the guy's name? Do you know these people? What's a good male porn star's name?
Oh,
You know these people.
I do. Wesley Pipes.
Wesley Pipes. Wesley Pipes on the board. Your boy, hey, when your boy come on in silence, he's come on high. No pun intended.
Oh, man.
Touche.
Ah, yeah, boy, what a life. And just going back to the fact that I am going to be giving Rogan Smith a gift certificate for some evaluations, psychological evaluations. The only
doctor
problem
abroad.
is, what's that? You want a doctor psychiatrist? Abroad. Mm-hmm. So now I got to pay for plane ticket too, Kendrick.
No, I can pay for my plane
Okay.
ticket. I just don't. I don't think they're going to keep
You know
my
what?
business.
But here's the deal.
confidential. Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to double up on the certificates because now the psychiatrist, he can need some therapy after that. So that's going to be interesting. Anyway, we have with us Travis Miller, who was with us last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He and Stephen Cartwright.
Yes.
I think I got the name right.
Yeah, that's right.
And I run into Stephen all the time. That's why. You guys had this wonderful thing called Starter Island, which is kind of like a pseudo or a semi Shark Tank type
Yeah.
thing.
a
And
competition.
Yeah,
it was a
kinda.
competition.
A week-long
yeah.
competition.
So first of all, were you on afterwards? Did you come?
No, I didn't get a chance to
You
come
didn't
on
do a
afterwards.
post?
No, I didn't do a post.
Okay,
there.
all right. So you did because you told us who
Stephen was
the
here.
winners
Yeah.
were. Someone was here.
I was?
Stephen must have been here
Oh,
then.
yeah.
Maybe I may have been.
Because the guy who
Maybe
won
I
was
was.
the Uber boat guy.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
yeah.
here. Yeah. I might need those tickets. I
See,
need
let me
those
just say
vouchers as
something,
well.
y'all.
I
Let me
need
say
those
something,
vouchers as
y'all.
well.
Y'all supposed to be younger than me, you know. What y'all doing, man?
But yeah, it was, last year was good. Last year was good.
Can't remember. And by the way, how did that idea turn out?
It's doing good. They actually are set to launch beta this month, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So
right.
they have kind of like their splash page going on, and they've been getting subscribers to do it. They're already registered LLC. I think they're registered in Delaware, and they're they're just moving
So it's a Bahamian
forward.
company.
Yes.
Wow.
But they have it registered both locations.
So they rich there.
Yeah.
They rich?
Not
rich
yet,
yet?
not yet. But there's a lot of validation.
I don't like people who just get rich off ideas and they.
Why am I? No, man. I mean, sometimes an idea may not be,
I'm
meant
really
for you.
kidding.
You
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
share the ideas. and
I'll
different
tell you
things.
one thing, and we'll talk about Start Out in a second. I always tell my daughter, and I always tell people, why is it that we believe that we cannot come up with ideas that can be in the global market? And George Smith kind of put it kind of succinctly when he said, the forefathers, and I hope you young fellows take us out of that mode, the forefathers were so focused on getting us jobs
Yeah.
that they didn't,
Kinda set that
encourage
framework for, like,
or nurture
entrepreneurship
and brain power. And I don't mean brain power in that way, but idea power. And
Just to
so-
kind of think outside the box. It would
I mean,
really
I see
focus in
these
the box.
people on Shark Tank and stuff come up with
love
some of
that
the
show.
simplest ideas. I go, why couldn't I have thought of that? I've had some ideas, by the way, but I just never took them to market. I had
Why?
one called the fruit hammock.
The fruit hammock?
Yeah.
How's that supposed to work?
It was supposed to work. Right now as I speak, Right now, as I speak, I have guavas on the ground mashed up. My idea was to create a netting around the tree so they could
catch it.
fall into the thing
Not
and
be
then be
bruised.
channeled into a bag or some kind of container.
That's a good idea. Well,
Yeah.
you say it's simple like that too, and like
Simple.
everybody has ideas. It's just people get scared, confusing that with just executing the
Yeah.
ideas. So
Plus, I
the
gotta go to
only
work.
thing. Yeah.
No, I'm only kidding. So tell us now about what this year's Starter Island is all about and what's going on.
So this year is very interesting. So this Starter Island, we actually won't be on the boat. We'll actually be in Nassau for the whole time.
Let me say something also.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm getting a little annoyed at your excitement, okay?
Why?
No, I mean, it's a
wrong with
joke.
you? He's like
It's
a
a joke.
Grinch.
It's a joke. It's a thing. It's a joke.
Listen,
that says,
listen,
I'm very,
I-
actually, it's the opposite.
I know. I love his
Listen,
excitement though. He's always
And plus,
here.
I listened to the show before coming in there. Y'all had
Yeah.
awesome. I was like, I didn't even like truthfully wanted to come to talk with Starter Island. I wanted to switch it up, but so I'm super pumped to be on the show. Yeah.
So
yeah.
So what's going
So
on?
we're in Nassau because we kind of wanted to give, especially our sponsors and our partners, kind of more opportunity to get involved with it. So we're staying in Nassau, and we're actually gonna be at different places in Nassau, working from different creative spaces, as well as doing different challenges around Nassau. So like one day we'll be at Island House working, and then we'll do a challenge at Jaws Beach. The next day we'll be at Playbox, which is formerly the Hub, down there, and then we'll jet to
What's it called now?
the Playbox.
Playbox. Okay.
Playbox.
Is it reopened?
Yes.
Oh, it's same people?
No, different
Okay,
people.
okay,
Yeah, I don't think
okay.
Margo used
Margo,
to be.
yeah,
But she isn't a part of it
yeah.
anymore. So yeah, we just switch it up every day to kind of see what Nassau has to offer, but also work with entrepreneurs as well as a part of the competition to do that. So,
So it's
we're-
less restrictive, I imagine, because, I mean, even though it's probably more fun
Right.
on the boat, it's you have more.
it's still a time
Flexibility.
crunch. Like, it's more flexibility in terms of like your scenery changes a whole lot as opposed to like being on the water the whole time. But it's still seeing the Bahamas in a different way, especially like. Is you get out of that tourist local type narrative, and you actually have two different types of people working together, and it's like they have a perspective, you have a perspective, and you kind of engage in it in a different way.
I
So,
mean,
yeah.
wouldn't it be wonderful, and I mean, maybe I'm reaching here, but wouldn't it be wonderful if Nassau, you know, like how Silicon Valley is a place where all of that stuff, wouldn't it be great if the Bahamas, like always say Nassau, the Bahamas, became a center for thought, you know, for thought entrepreneurship.
I'm looking at Bahamas, but you know, the one place where like the
Yeah.
Silicon Valley could be right
Yeah.
there. You know what I mean?
But so how do we you know, just to throw that out, what's stopping us? I mean, the resource is human beings, so what's stopping us?
personal fear, I feel, is the biggest thing. Like that's the simple.
well,
Yeah, we
that's the
always come
simple.
back to
You got
that.
the
That's
fear.
true.
Yeah, I mean, it's just people, and somebody kind of put it in a very unique way to me before. Like, if someone ever comes to you and says, like, oh, you have an idea, or you shoot it to somebody and they say, oh, you can't do this, or, you know, that won't work, is initially them projecting their perception of why they think that doesn't
And that
work
is
on
so
you.
common.
And it's common, and I think about it as a not in a negative way, in terms of like, oh, people just hate you. That's just the default thing. Like, you're always gonna think this can't work because you gauge up an idea on you think your personal ability is. The thing about that fear is that people don't realize that they are capable of way more than they think they are.
It is the single
yeah.
most
Always talk about
annoying,
that.
angry thing that you could say to me in a conversation. If you say to me something like, that can't work, or these people ain't into that, that is the single thing that literally gets my head boiling.
Right.
I can't deal with it because you've then defeated yourself. Well, you're self-fulfilled.
Yeah, and like people
know?
don't act like this, like the 5 whys type of thing. So like if someone says it can't work, why? And then if they answer that, you could drill down to the next question, and then the next question, and then they realize that, oh, maybe this could work. So it's like people always stop at the first, you know, answer. It doesn't work. We're not really digging into it. And when you really dig down into it is where you have a lot of creative things that you think about, and that's where execution comes into play, because somebody might have a different why to somebody else's why and all
I
that
don't
sort
like
of
that we don't take our people seriously either, because we'd have a fantastic idea here, but we'll just overlook it. But
Oh,
if
yeah, you have
if
that
a
a lot.
foreigner does it or says it, it'd be like, oh, that's brilliant, you know. And you had somebody who was right here making that same, putting that same thing.
It's actually common. It's small town mentality that someone in New York or California can do it, but not me in Mayberry.
And truthfully, that happens everywhere.
Everywhere,
It
yeah.
just
It's
happened,
small town mentality.
But the thing is here is that it's such a small group of small amount of people in one area
Right.
where it feels like it's magnified.
How can you? Because fear is learned behavior, like everything else. How can you
Retrain
start to
yourself?
get into the schools at a young level, at a young age, to where young kids? Because this is what I think happens in the United States. I think one of the reasons you just look at service and work ethic, right? Kids in the United States start working in high school. That's very uncommon here.
Well,
In fact,
kids work in primary school. Some of them in like the food store.
I'm just saying to you
Grocery
that when you
packing,
look at the
boys and
percentage
girls.
of people, and basically there are two places they work: in food stores and gas stations.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they work. If you look at if you go to the United States, you see kids working in fast food restaurants and this after work. They're all over the place. SeaWorld. In high school, what it is it teaches them how to adjust to the working world. Because what we find in the
more
place
prep
where I
on it,
work is
yeah.
they come right out of high school and all of a sudden, boom, 8 hours a day with some demanding guests, and they can't handle it.
I think how you get it into schools is schools, and I think it's simple enough where you don't need to build a whole curriculum around it. If you do it, great. But like schools should allow kids the opportunity to fail more frequently, where it's okay. Because even in my generation, is like you have a lot of people who put on a persona or are scared to do things because they feel like everybody's gonna be like, oh, like just rag the person the whole time. But failure is is a part of the process.
You gotta
Failure
fail.
is that thing that
How many times
gets
did
you to
Thomas
the next
Edison
thing.
fail?
Exactly, that's the thing. But truthfully too, until we got to the point where we looked into that and realized how many times he failed, it's the same narrative we have right here. It's like, especially entrepreneurs now, it's local entrepreneurs, they don't tell the bad side. They only show the good side.
Exactly.
They only show the blazer and the suit like
Yeah.
that. Me, I could go about my story all day, but it's like I feel all those bad things that happen were a part of the bigger thing and why I do the things I do or learn the things I learn. That's a part of this. And I feel true entrepreneurs should embrace that more.
Yeah.
Because that's how you tell that story in the narrative.
Absolutely.
What's even more interesting about that
Absolutely.
narrative is I saw something the other day on Facebook about how in schools, this is Bahamas as well as U.S., etc., how race plays into this because, you only hear about, quote unquote, Caucasian inventions. So we've been brought up with the view that basically young black kids brought up with the view that only people who have ever invented anything in the world is people not like them.
Yeah.
Okay? But if you look down the list of inventions...
Black History Month, they put out a whole list of all the things that black people had
Yeah.
invented.
So you learn in February.
Yeah,
If you
only
miss
learn in
February, you don't.
February.
If you don't go to PBS, you gotta
But I
learn.
will say though, just on the same level too as like what's happening right now with Black Lives Matter and everything's going on, it's like it always like these stories have been happening, but now we have the technology to kind of bring it to like just the other day on Facebook. Like I didn't know this before. Like Henry Ford gets all the glory for
The car.
but it was actually a black man that came up with the system to automate the process of
The production line.
the production line
Yeah,
of the
yeah, I
car.
learned about that the
Stuff
other day
like
as well.
that.
Yeah.
So like I could admit like I just learned about
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
but now
yeah.
it's coming more to light and you appreciate it more kind of digging into your history.
So I think that if young men like you, and then we're going to talk about how to sign up for this Start Island if it's still available, is young when Kendrick or I go into a school and start talking to these young men, they see an old fogey, not me so much, but Kendrick. They see an old fogey, but when they see a young fella like you, dressed like you, and you're talking about entrepreneurial, and you're talking about the examples. Something clicks. It only takes, because let's face it, not everyone's going to be an entrepreneur. But you don't want a situation where no one is an entrepreneur. So if you get 5% clicking, then boom, and then that starts to create a culture of this. So I would really, I'm saying this to you, I'd really encourage you to, as a part of your process, start maybe having, now watch this, Rogan, just give them an idea. Start a junior starter island.
Yeah, we have a.
You already have it, right?
No, I mean, no, we don't have it yet.
Okay,
but
so it's
like,
my idea.
It's I'll put the ad feels.
Yeah.
I'll find the logo and put it on that.
Yeah, just a little thing in the corner, EF. Okay,
But
okay.
but like Starter Island itself is starting to shape up and turn into different ways to do it too. Like we had a mini Starter Island in Eleuthera in April, and we kind of saw how that worked on a family island in terms of how we interact with not only like that subculture there, but the people there, and they loved it. So it's kind of like we're working at different ways to doing that.
Because kids' minds get shaped really easily.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's like I think like going on to your point in terms of like why they resonate with it is like again not being scared to show the reals. Like don't sell the dream. Like what you talked about earlier. Don't romanticize. Like the things like, oh, I've been doing this, I sell this and I watch this or whatever like that. But like I said, I slept on the couch trying to find a job, like 50, 60 interviews getting shut down, being international and or like stuff like that. And they kind of be like, wow,
Yeah.
So when rejection comes, they know that they're not alone in it as well. You know what I mean? Because
It
they can say,
happens.
this guy,
It's life.
he was rejected
and
1,000 times.
And you gotta keep going.
You got to keep going. It's like
What's,
I like
what's
that.
next?
Yeah.
So
That's
I
a
tell you,
real
when you know
narrative.
kids are inventive, when you put, this is a Bill Cosby thing, when you put a cookie jar on the top of the cabinet, and a kid will build a scaffolding
to get those
to get to that cookie. You know what I mean?
Genius.
genius. That's what it is.
So because again, they have no fear. See, we go right back to this thing about fear. This is why a kid can learn a computer. Adults are afraid of breaking the computer. Like I'm going to break this.
Oh,
A
shut it
kid is
down
just like,
after
a kid is just going to go la 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 la, and
They'll
the
figure it
process.
out.
Why I won't go on a skateboard, but a kid has no fear of breaking his neck. So listen, tell us about how people can sign up for Starter
So
Island.
Starter Island applications are still open till the 15th, and we just love everybody to get involved. We're still looking for sponsors, still looking for partners to help us with the event, and we have 3 core events within it as well. We have a pre-competition kind of mixer for everybody to kind of meet each other. It's open to public. We'll have that at Compass Point August 21st at 8, and then we have the finals at the end of the competition August 26th. At 6 o'clock at John Watling's Distillery. And then after that, when the competition's over, we're going to head over to Pirate Republic and then just celebrate, the competition and journey ahead. And just like to thank all the sponsors that we have so far and the partners, John Watling's, Pirate Republic, Compass Point, even our competition sponsors, True Bahamian Food Tours, JetLink, Ultimate Tours, everybody for being a part of it. How much time do I have time left for it? Yeah, so I actually have the list.
There you go.
To do it. So, the
I know
Playbox
about
again,
that.
Island House, Veranda House, through Antonius Roberts, who's helping use the space, Synergy Bahamas, True Bahamian Food Tours, Ultimate Tours, Pirate Bay, JetLink, Coca-Cola, Starlight Global, John Watling's Distillery, Pirate Republic, Compass Point, the Venture Fund, BTVI, all who kind of helped with this project. And just like to thank the Shift the Culture community, everybody, especially Stephen, who isn't here right now,
Stephen Cartwright.
Stephen Cartwright. So,
Well, listen, we got to get our other guest on, but thank you, Travis, for coming by.
Thank
and
you.
we'll let us know what's happening after it's
You're
all
on
done.
Facebook, you said?
Yes, I'm on Facebook. Yeah, we're on Facebook. And next time, when you have another show like that,
Yeah.
invite me. I don't have to be a starter. Yeah. I'll
All right,
come in
we'll
on
do
that.
that.
Yeah.
We'll do that.
Perspective.
Yeah.
There you go.
Perfect.
Done.
All right, man.
All right, thank you very
Take
much.
care.
Bye, Travis.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ed Fields here along with Rogan Smith. She went to check out something, and she'll be back in a second. We're here with Carlos Reed, my good friend Carlos Reed. We, like he said as he came in, we used to see a lot of each other, but we get bogged down in things. You're bogged down in your, tell me, I'm sorry, Youth Against Violence. Out there on the Sports Center. How's that coming along?
It's coming well. We just got our basketball courts up.
Yeah.
Got
You
one
don't,
of
you
them
don't, you don't give up, hey?
Nah, for what? For what?
He is determined.
You ain't gonna try to build no dome.
Yeah, that's next. I try to get some of these young people out of some of these environments.
This is digression, but there's a young lady, a Bahamian young lady who's in. There's actually a few, but there's a Bahamian lady who's in the Olympics and I don't know if she's made it, but made it to the final of a rowing event. There's another Bahamian, and when I say Bahamian, her father's Bahamian, Rick Thompson, who is at ZNS. You know Rick,
Right.
who is a premier athlete in England.
Right.
She is probably going to be she'll be a medalist in the decathlon, or the heptathlon. And the reason I bring it up, and I know you focus on basketball, is you don't get kids being problematic when they're engaged in sports.
Exactly.
And we got that lake out there, Lake Cunningham. Wow. And there's no reason why only Emily Morley can be in rowing. You could have hundreds of young men who are strong young men engaged in that. And it's not just about the rowing, Carlos, as you know. It's about the discipline, right?
Right, the discipline and the doors that it opened.
Yeah. When you do the basketball, so people come to your place. Tell us what happens. They come to your place, and they want to play basketball, but there's criteria.
Exactly.
So tell me about that.
So you're getting disciplined. You're being disciplined while you think you're having fun. So they think it's just for playing basketball, but you're getting disciplined. Let me show you what's the power of being on the team. Every team has a coach and has a captain. A family is a team. And this is why, like, a lot of persons that are normally engaged with teams, they are more disciplined people. They could submit to, like, even leadership on the job, because on the job, the boss is a team, the supervisor is the captain. So you're learning that concept as you go along.
So I mean, you know, I don't want to bring up anything ugly here, but one of our problems is because a lot of our young men and women are growing up without teams.
No, they're on teams. It's just not part of the team.
Right, but
the gang is a team.
The gang is a team. Their family team doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Right.
So what they do is, because we basically designed to submit to a team. That's the way God designed us. Right, be designers with to be able to come through a family, a team, and because that don't exist, this is why, like, we have the emergence of something that we call locally the gangs.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because in everything I look at, you and I have had this discussion. I'm not a big church guy, but when you look at how people get through life. For instance, we had Andre, Chappelle, right? Yeah. We require a replacement for a void. We require that. If there's a void, no matter what it is, so you're a drug addict, okay, that drug is filling a void.
Exactly.
And if you want to get off of that negative scenario, which is the drug, you need to replace it with something. So it's going to be something artistic, creative, the church, whatever it is. It's something to fill you.
Right, and this is where society have to get on the cutting edge. We got to create avenues. We got to create opportunities, and this is why, like, I'm so excited about the sports academy that we're doing, because it's going to create opportunities. You know, I got this revelation a couple of months ago. I spoke with this coach because we had this young boy came through shock treatment, and awesome athlete. I'm talking about not just a basketball player. He is excellent, pound for pound, the best young person at his age to play basketball. But he's also good in track and field. In fact, he was out at school sports, and they needed somebody to run this race to 1,500. Because they didn't have nobody. Yeah. So they go to him. And they said, okay, we want you to run this race. So he take off his pants. He ain't got no cleats. But you know the guys, them normally, they have their short pants underneath. He have his T-shirt and he ran.
The spandex pants.
And the fella didn't just win the race. He set a national record. And
First
he don't belong to no club, nothing like that. He ran in the nationals. He's already won the Hugh Campbell twice, the national basketball, the first national. He won that. So we spoke to this coach about getting him out of here. This coach said, man, send me some clips. I said, I'll do better than that. I called Phyllis Johnson at Bahamas here, and we got a ticket. We put it on the plane. I tell the fella, pick him up from the airport. He went to practice, and he likes to bite up the whole team. So the fella said, man, we want him. So they gave him a scholarship. And this fella lives through Hay Street, where I just passed through, just coming here. And the reason why I was a little late is because, like, they have like a whole heap of police down through there right now. And this is where he resides. A few months before this, he watched one of his friends got killed right in the front of him. Now he goes off. When he reaches inside the cafeteria, you know, they have those tray that you slide the tray down and you can choose some jello over here, this stuff over here, right? He goes, he's sleeping air conditioned. He calls me on the phone. I get the call but around 1 o'clock in the morning. He calls me, Daddy, I got to come home. because he got exposed to something that he never knew exists. But here's the story. Since then, he's been to LeBron camp. He's been to Las Vegas. He's been to New York. He is actually seeing almost the whole of America because he has talent and he got an opportunity. He got a door open. And that's what we're talking about. Just open the door.
You know, and you know, we it's a platitude, right? It's a platitude about creating alternatives. You hear it all the time as if it's cliche, but that's the reality. You know, if you're sitting around and there are no opportunities, no alternatives, you can't earn a living if you're out of school. You can't, if you're in school, buy a pair of tennis or take your girlfriend on a date, normal things. Then you turn savage. Exactly. I mean, I hope I'm not being offensive, but your inner savage comes out because you know why? It's survival.
Exactly. Like we were going into neighborhoods. When we started our campaign, Peace on the Street, and guys were committing to stop gangbanging and to follow Jesus. But following Jesus wasn't just it. They still had to survive. They had to be able to, what they were used to selling, dope, robbing, and all that stuff. Now they got to replace that. And so we had to create opportunities for them to be able to get jobs.
That's why you did the car wash.
And that's why we did Operation Redemption, because it became an alternative. You can't tell me don't eat noodles if that's all I have. You got to give me something else to eat and then tell me to make choice. We've been telling people, y'all got to make better choices. Come on, man, that's all I got. That's all I know. See, one of the things that I've learned over the years, I don't judge people because you don't know who people are and you don't know my story. This young man, I was riding with him. He was on drugs. He's still on drugs. And he keep looking at me, Ed, and turning his head, you know, when somebody want to talk, right? So I said, man, what's going on? He said, man, I wasn't always like this. I said, like, how? On drugs. He said, man, I had a successful career. I owned my own company. I was a contractor. Say one day, say he lived in this split-level house, married with kids, and say one day he left the plans. He gone on this job, and he left the plans home. He returned back home to get the plans. He said, Mr. Reed, coming up the stairway, I hear this noise coming from the bedroom. So when I opened the door, I met my wife in the bed with my best friend. So he took a baseball bat and he beat the two of them. He got sent to prison for 3 years. He said he promised God when he was in prison that when he come out, he was going to do better. He said, Mr. Reed, every now and then I hear the noise coming up the stairway. And the crack to him
is replaced is to dampen that pain.
Exactly.
What did Andre say when he was here about the pain that I forgot how Andre phrased it, but it was basically to drown out the noise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people do. Some people just trying to survive. You think everybody out there that's doing crime want to do crime? To them, but that's the source of survival.
Well, you look at the people in this room, for instance. We do have a choice. You see? So we say that area, that prison, is not the choice I
want to make.
But I can make another. I have the capacity, whether it's through education, through finances, whatever, to make a choice other than that. Someone who's in a survival mode or had an experience like that, psychologically, because I think Andre also spoke about the psychological damage. And this is a gentleman, as you know, and we're so privileged to be able to just tell his story again, who grew up in Lightfoot Key. But said that the damage was so, the pain was so hardcore
that
he would walk from Lightfoot Key.
Give all of that up
to over the hill to get to
and
drown
that's
out
realness.
The noise.
I had another story with this like these parents just bring kids to me. This particular day, this mom brought this boy to me. He was about 15 years old at the time, and she said, Mr. Reed, if you can't do nothing with him, I'm going to take him down to the courts and render him uncontrollable. Because everywhere this boy went, he got in a fight. 10 minutes in my office, he started to tell me his story. I have this gift. I don't take no credit for it. I believe that God gave it to me. Well, people just talk to me. People will come to me and they'll tell me their deeper secrets. But this boy, 10 minutes, he said, you know something, I ain't bad. And I said, no. He said, no, everybody think I bad. But he said, something happened to me when I was 7. He said, my father molested me. So here it was. He wasn't fighting the boys. He was fighting the daddy. But he couldn't beat the daddy. So everything that looked like the daddy, he beat up.
He had never confessed this to his mother?
No.
You're a perfect stranger he met.
Right.
And he said this to
Right.
you.
He told me his story. Here it is, we trying to figure out what's going on with him. But deep down, man, he's angry because the man that was supposed to validate him turned him into a fruit.
Yeah.
And they're real stories. See, when we understand people's stories, then we don't judge people. You know, people sit back at all of us and they judge us. But you don't know me. You can't judge me. You need to hear my story, then judge me.
Well, it's you know, one of the things that I hope you're able to accomplish. You talk about the sports academy. It just so happens, and you know, you're a crazy dude. You know, I could tell you a story. See,
Okay,
so he
you
goes.
let him call me crazy on radio.
Yeah. No, but but let me tell you why I could say he's a crazy dude. Because you see, they build this whole sports center, right? And I believe he just got to take the lad.
Nah, that was good.
No, you know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
You know, you ain't waiting around.
No, you got to do it.
So when I say take it, someone might have promised him. And you know how this thing goes where you go to get... See, look at me now. You go and they say, okay, yeah, I can give you that.
He started building on it.
I'm waiting for you to go through all the papers and things like that.
You give it to
Okay?
start
All right?
building anyway.
How off am I on that?
Nah, I think you a little bit on it. But we got the papers.
No, you get the papers. You know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah,
Because
I know.
See, when it comes, and I'm going to use this, I'm going to say this. When it comes to redemption, you can't wait.
No.
Okay?
No.
So if you're going to promise me something so that I can do this, well then let me go ahead and do it.
Exactly.
And while you're waking out all the details,
yeah, I can
let
get
me
on
know.
the way.
Yeah. I build in the roof now. Okay, and I can invite you to the
opening.
Okay. So that's why I'm going crazy because it you have to have a certain degree of I'm not conforming.
Right. I ain't waiting on nobody.
No, because what is my goal here? My goal here is to save some lives. And the reason why I say I tie that in with craziness because it's a vision. Because what better place than the sports center? Because eventually, one of these days, when you're not around, and that place grows, the Hope Center is what it's called. When the Hope Center grows to where it can be, those young men will be able to be in an environment where you have baseball, swimming, college basketball, the College of the Bahamas, intercollegiate sports. Thousands of young men and women will flow through there, and the facilities are there for them to use. Exactly. And that's all they need is that opportunity.
Well, I was looking at you like that. You was at the opening, right?
Yeah.
And I know you heard with Charles.
You know
with Charles Maynard, God bless his soul, and we had gotten a different piece of property before, right? And soon as he told me where the property was, we just took a D8 out there, go clear the property.
Yeah,
down.
that's why I say you're crazy. see, a lot of people will wait around, and life will pass them by, and all of the opportunities that could be afforded young men and women or those who they're trying to assist. All those opportunities are lost because you don't have time to waste and this is what we talk about, Rogan, about people getting engaged. We're waiting for someone to do it for us, and it's not going to happen.
No,
it's not going to happen.
Do you ever feel like your work is being undone when these young men come to your Hope Center, right? But then they go back into their respective environments when they're done at the end of the day. Do you worry about that?
Yes, we do. And I believe this is why we are at that place right now where we want to be able to open doors, because I don't believe that just the time that we have with these young persons during the week is sufficient to be able to really change them. I believe that they have to go back to the same environments that created them. Yeah. In the first place. You could clean up a pig all you want, but he still got to go back into the pigsty. Yeah. So we got to create opportunities where we get them out, like the AJ that's going to school, to be able to expose them and to cause them to see something different from what they believe is the norm. So the most people living in the hood, that's the norm.
AJ say, do I have to come back?
If I have to come, I don't want to go back to that. You see what I'm saying? So every opportunity that he gets to travel, to go, he's ready to go.
Do you have a lot of buy-in from the parents of these kids now that they see some positive changes with them coming to the Hope Center?
Yes, man. Some parents just believe like they just dishing off their problems. Look here, that's your problem. Yeah. But there are some parents out there. What I'm talking about, man, especially those mothers. man, they really buy in. And the ones that buy in is the ones that we see like the most success with.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
When I
'Cause
go
it's reinforcement
places,
at home, too.
when I go places now and people walk up to me, I was at the Hugh Campbell the other day, and this young man walked up to me and he asked me, "Look here, man, do you remember me?" I said, "No, man, I really don't, because I really didn't." He said, "Man, one day they called you to the school to speak to me because I was terrible." But he said, "Now I'm a professional baseball player." He's playing with the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Stop.
I said, "Wow." I go up to the Ministry of Work started to get something sorted out, and this young Marine walk up to me. He said, "Man, say you remember me?" I said, "No, I don't." He said, "Man, the same story. Look here, you came to our school, spoke to me, and it changed my life."
I tell you
remarkable.
something, and I'll say this to you. I was going to ask you a question.
It's
Well,
remarkable.
it's certainly happened to me on a couple of times. Nothing to the extent that you would have experienced it, because you're engaged in that business. But when someone does that, and you don't remember them, because that's what it was about.
Right.
It throws you way back when you realize the impact that you could have had. And that's imagine we got 350,000 people. If each one of us had that sort of impact on one person, just one. But do you keep stats?
Not necessarily. We
But you-
started now because back then, when you're doing something from the heart,
Yeah.
you ain't
You ain't
trying
thinking right.
to keep no score.
But I would encourage you to keep stats. I'll tell you why. Let me give you an example. The Governor General's Youth Awards program, they keep stats. They've had over 10, 15,000 kids pass through that. Not one has ever been to jail. When you are able to kind of express that, it does two things. One, it certainly shows your success and helps you with the fundraising and people, supporting your effort. And two, it also encourages when you could say that to a young. See, because I went through Mason's Edition once.
Once?
And well, this was on once occasion when I went there. I grew up right around there. So one time I should have said it this way. One time I was through Mason Edition, and I was standing around by the park, and we were talking, and this one guy said something to me like, "Brother man, the only thing I got to look forward to is two things: jail or death." That hit me. I'll never forget that. Now, when you can now say to someone, these young men and women who are coming to you, listen, this program, you now have something else that you can look forward to.
Yes.
Okay? You are now giving them that option
Giving them
that
hope.
hey, there is something else to look forward to, because they don't have that. So that's why I would encourage you, because when you can say to them, I've had 1,000 young men pass through this program, and this is the success rate. So this is what you have to look forward to, and it only depends on you.
I get you on camera crying.
Yeah, I know you got it.
Yeah. No, Ed was down at our groundbreaking service.
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
And he was sitting there. Ed believe he tough, right? And when those young people
I
started crying, I said,
Boy, I tough boy. I go quick on you. I go quick on you. So no, it is.
But
it is,
I really appreciated you being there. That meant a lot to me.
No, but we were doing what we were trying to do, and we're going to still continue to try to do what we can do. And listen. Obviously, because of what you do, you're out there, and people see that. But I know that there's more than that, because what they see you out there, that's only the tip of the iceberg. They're not seeing all the other stuff that you're engaged in.
No.
That really makes the whole thing successful. The fact that listen, this guy, the fact that you decide now we're going to build, you have this thing where you decide, well, I'm going to build these basketball courts. Not I wish I could build them.
No, we're going to do it.
Speak it.
It's a different version of build it and they will come. Is I say it so I can get built. That's the And so what is just one or two?
It's two.
Two. Yeah.
We got one.
Yeah.
Like, man, it's amazing, beautiful car.
Yeah.
People pass. I saw people taking pictures. I don't know
Is it
why
with
they
the
was
name and
taking
colors
pictures.
and all that?
No, we got the red. We got the American colors.
Okay.
But we talk what we got.
Yeah.
When you asking people for things, they say beggars don't pick a juice.
Yeah.
Whatever color you put on, man, we just happy to have the card.
yeah.
But I really want to say thanks to the people like IDS, Inter Development, Site Development, which laid the card out and provided all the fill. And then
ISD.
ISD, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, ISD. And Hot Mix, Bahamas
Yeah,
Hot
Hot
Mix,
Mix,
they gave us all the asphalt.
Yeah.
My good friend Garvin, I don't know if you remember Garvin. Garvin came down and he paved it. And then Bahamas Stripe and Ontario Mitchell, they came down. They came down and put it down, and we got like the hoops from New Providence New Providence Community Center. They took down their hoops right in time to be able to give it to us, so we get glass backboards on the outside.
Yeah, you got Breakaway.
Yeah,
because
no man, she saw that.
One down.
Yeah, man, she saw that. We got one of the best.
Let me ask you a thing. Do you have bleachers?
Yeah, we trying to get some right now.
Because the reason I say that is because that's where the mothers and the fathers come. They can come there. Because let me tell you another thing, and you know this. You've been involved. A lot of kids grow up believing that they don't have any value, and that the people who they look to don't see any value or good in them. Right. So when they're on that court and they can see their mother or their father in that stand looking at them, and because that's a part of the team that you're trying to create. Exactly. Because you can't be the team all the time. There's got to be some other support staff in there. And
you said something. You hit something so powerful, because that was something with me. My father was the Pink Panther. He's dead now, right? But he never got a chance to see me play basketball. I would have given anything to watch him walk through that gym when I was playing in the league for him, because that's what I love. But he never. But he was alive when I wrote my first book. Do you know that he took that in his taxi every night? And he took that to everybody, and he showed everybody this book with his son wrote. That meant something to me.
That's the exchange that has to happen. That's the exchange that has to happen. And when people start to feel that, when they start to feel that, that's when it becomes real. So I want to say to you, Carlos, I called Carlos up about maybe, what was that, about 4 or 5 years ago when we were doing We the People.
Right.
And we sat down and, I think before that we had kind of had some brief exchange. Right. But listen, man, I want to say, you're doing a great job. There'll always be naysayers.
Yeah, we ain't worried about that.
No.
You've
been in the court.
Yeah.
The naysayers ain't been in the court.
Exactly.
Unless you line up to play cable, BC, BTC, and none of that, man. Ain't worried about that, man.
So you keep doing what you're doing. That we will, obviously try to do what we can do to help you. And, just keep it up, man.
Yes, definitely.
Tell us just real quick, we only got about a minute. Tell us what's happening with what's going on with the youth, the
Well, we're getting ready to do a back to school jam. This year I'm going to be 55. And I wanted to do something special. On the 29th, that's my birthday. So on the 26th, we decided we're going to do a back to school jam. We have already secured about 300 bags. Food. We want to be able to help some underprivileged kids to be able to go back. So maybe there might be some people that would want to get involved in that. You don't even have to give us no money. You could just buy some bags.
You have a basketball game around that? Yeah.
I'm
going to be aware, otherwise I'll come down there and do some dunking, but I can be away, so I can't make it right.
They can donate items?
Yeah, like school bags with supplies and stuff. You could come down and just do that. If you want to do some uniforms, because some kids right now, the amount of uniforms that we buy during the year.
I know.
A kid get in a fight and all the buttons pop off. If he can't, he don't have no shirt, he can't go to school.
Yep.
So the folks at John's, they know me well.
John's. Yeah. All right, man, Carlos, listen, it's a pleasure, and we'll have you again soon, and just keep up the good work, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.